Oh, Lord.
Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Odious Soul. I, of course, am Shannon, and well, here are my partners in crime. We got Mike and Amanda with us tonight. Of course, our Hump Day Hangout gang. And Amanda, why don't you start off by telling everybody where they can find you out on social media?
Oh my God. Okay. No, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Stay Fast and Weird. Do not look me up on Facebook. Don't do it. We're not friends. That's it.
She always says that, but does she really mean it? I think she
Absolutely.
does. So don't do it. Okay. All right, Mike, what about you? Where can people find you out on the World Wide Web, social media, all that stuff?
Instagram at Twisty Rider. And because of these two, I now have a TikTok at Twisty Rider also.
You know, I would like to say that I'm proud of you for that, but the only reason why I have a TikTok is because of my daughter, and then your daughter, like, you know, kind of guilted me into making more TikTok videos, or so yeah. But anyway, all right, so I want to thank everybody who watches us live right now. We have Let's Go for a Walk. What do we call you? Fred, is that the nickname we give you as a person on this show? We also have Zebzy Dead. Hi. I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome.
Oh, that's
oh, you know that person?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he bought parts from me.
Oh, nice.
He's a good buyer, an excellent buyer. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and everybody who watches on the replay, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. As a reminder, if you are live during the show tonight, you can chat amongst yourselves, and you can also put like a little @ sign and then our names, and we will be able to see that. It'll be highlighted, easy for us to read, easiest for us to capture, because I know these two are going to end up on a rant tonight. I have a feeling this is going to happen, and I'm going to be trying to, like, with my lasso and my whip, trying to like reel them in and contain them a little bit. So we may not look at chat as much as we should, but if you highlight our names, it'll pop out on the screen at us, and we will definitely read what you write. Also, super chat is on, so if you want to send us some love, please feel free to do so, as well as super stickers. I have still not gotten a super sticker, so I have no idea what it looks like. Somebody should do a super sticker for us tonight. But anyway, so tradition is I always ask everybody what they're drinking, so that way we know who is participating in alcohol and can blame it on the alcohol tomorrow when they regret everything that they said on the show. Myself,
I regret nothing ever.
I am drinking Casamigos tequila with seltzer tonight, and I'm classing it up in my bright red solo cup with my straw, with my little bendy straw.
Your solo cup that's not a solo cup?
Oh, you're right. It's from BJ's. This is the Berkeley and Jensen brand. It is more affordable than Solo, and it's perfectly recyclable as well.
Nice plug.
Word.
All right. So what about you guys? What are you guys drinking? Any alcohol? Please tell me somebody has some alcohol, or is it just me
First
tonight?
off, Mike can go first because I always go first.
All right. I am drinking a Rockstar in my fancy.
Snap on, you son of a bitch.
Wait, but look.
Oh, it's cute.
Hey, JK, cheers. I love JK. JK, I don't know if Amanda knows this, but I went and did a poker tournament this year in Vegas for like the World Series of Fen. It's like little thing, and he donated a silver bar, and I got second place, and I got to have that silver bar, and I cherish that silver bar with all of my heart. It's in my safe, and it's like, hopefully silver prices one day are amazing, and like I can buy something with it.
Motorcycle.
That would be amazing. It's not that big of a silver bar. Oh, Zebzy Dead, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, it was a super sticker. That's what a super sticker is. Sweet. He sent us a vibes one. Awesome. Thank you. It does that. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, so tonight we are talking about electric vehicle. Wait, what?
Stop. You forgot about me.
Oh, well, you
know what I'm drinking?
All right, you know what?
I'm gonna go with tea.
You talk so much that I have to cut you off, and like, I'm so sorry. What are you drinking?
Talk a lot. That's the beauty of me. I leave nothing, hidden. That's for dang sure. Okay, so this is my fancy cup. I love this cup. I'm pretty sure it's made out of acrylic. It's pretty neat. But I'm not drinking because I only drink at the track, by the way, in case you guys forgot. Also, it's lemon. No, I lost my dang train of thought. Lavender and chamomile tea of sorts. See, now you threw up the whole vibe. What are we doing?
It's because you had me
All
go
right,
first.
yeah, she's drinking
Oh,
cookery
that's
shit.
true.
So next week
Old lady
she's gonna have to. She's gonna have to
drink
just,
alcohol.
no, you're going to have to say it first. You're gonna have to say what you're drinking before,
always.
Mike.
From here on out.
Here on out, yeah.
Messed up.
And I just want to throw it out that next week I will be in an airport. Well, hopefully I will be in an airport and not stuck in an airplane at this time next week. So we are actually pushing the show to Thursday next week. So I'm gonna have to come up with a clever phrase for like the day after hump day hangout or something for next week. So I apologize because sometimes life gets in the way. So, but anyway, let's talk about what we're going to talk about tonight, right? So we're going to talk about electric vehicles. And these two are so against them. It's not even funny. You're going to see all that in just a moment. Well, wait. I mean, mostly.
I'm not
I would say
against
that's
them. I'm not against them.
That's a little
a little extra, a little too much. Okay.
No, that's not the word I'm thinking of, but that's a little, you're projecting there a little bit.
Okay. These two have a lot of opinions on the matter. And as we know, electric vehicles are kind of being forced upon us. Okay. So like August 25th, California regulators adopted, rules that would ban, all the sale of all new gasoline powered cars and light trucks by the year 2035. And I think, what is it like by 2035, like 100% of all new car sales must either be electric or hydrogen powered. You also have like California doing the whole, what is it? Like, it's like a small engine ban. So like lawnmowers and leaf blowers and stuff like that. And I know they wanted that in effect by 2024, but there is a commission working because a lot of the landscape companies say, that like electric just is not there yet for commercial, level kind of stuff. So that's still to be determined. But all over the world, like Chile, Canada, everybody has these like zero emission targets. And
Germany, I think, started it. Like I think they were the first one to say, oh, by the year, I think it's 25 or something. They're not, they don't want to do like any more gas sales or something like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So we're being forced upon this new trend. So we're just going to have to see what these two have to say about why they think the way they do. And I guess what exactly they think. So Mike, I feel like you're the most passionate about this. So we're going to let you go first tonight.
Well, I want to start on the word you just used there, and that's trend. This is a trend. Electric vehicles cannot last forever. It's not the future. There's no way it can be the future because all we're doing is getting rid of fossil fuels, which, like we need to, because that's not going to last forever. But we're just trading one carbon footprint for another carbon footprint. And eventually, we're going to run out of the ingredients to make a battery.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can I ask something? Who told you about what carbon footprint? Explain that to me.
What do you mean, what carbon footprint?
Yeah, explain your reasoning behind the carbon footprint. Because I have a shitload of statistics over here in my handy dandy damn notebooks. Go on.
Okay, so we've got the fossil fuel carbon footprint of like the exhaust out of the cars and everything, right? So
it's called emissions. Use the real word.
Emissions. So the main thing inside of a battery is nickel. Have you ever seen nickel mining and how?
What battery?
Lithium ion
batteries.
They're made mostly of cobalt and nickel.
Okay, go on.
So nickel mining is a terribly, terribly dirty process where they're just digging big, huge holes in the ground with big, huge trucks that are burning a whole bunch of diesel to get this nickel. And it's, just tearing up the earth even more, just as much as we are fracking and everything for fuel and oil and everything. So it's, there's definitely not the, they're not as eco-friendly as, California makes us believe.
Yeah, definitely not now. I actually I just watched a TED talk today that said, like a complete electric vehicle actually emits more CO2 like during the manufacturing process
Mhm.
than a conventional car. And you'd have to drive it for an electric car to go 400 miles, like that kind of a range of an electric car, you would have to drive it for 400,000 miles for it to be as efficient overall from its like lifespan as a conventional vehicle. But
What's the average of miles on that though? Would you say what were the average miles?
that was with a battery a life of like 400 miles. So if you do like an electric vehicle that only has a life like a distance that can go to 125, it's much better. It kind of levels out with a conventional vehicle at about 90,000 miles, and then like by 180 it's far less CO2. But if
Sure.
you do the bigger battery packs. But what about all these electric vehicle sales? The money goes back into research and development, and there's companies out there who are exploring new kind of batteries. Like there's a lithium ion battery, there's a sodium ion battery. Like the more money we can get into this industry, the more research and development that can happen, and the better batteries that'll come. The smoother the supply chain will go, the less like you got to think, you got to invest trillions of dollars, to make this happen. But where do you get the money if you're not selling a product?
Well, the government funds it too, but
Oh, of course, I mean, they have
Well,
to.
the
They're making
people
us
you
do
know,
fund
it.
it. Any money that goes into the government comes from us. So let's be real, we fund it with the
we're funding it.
trillions of dollars in debt that we fucking are. Or that we are. Anyway, but go on.
Uh,
You're just totes adorbs, by the way. I just got to say that.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're totes adorbs.
Thank you. I love it. It just builds my confidence so much.
but yeah, it's I don't know. There's they can keep developing in the batteries and make batteries better, but it's still no matter how good of a battery you're making, it still has to be made and mined and processed all the like materials to make the battery. So who cares if you have a battery that's going to last, well, I think that 10, 15 years, like the life of the car.
They don't even last that long,
I
honestly.
know. Well now, but let's say they keep developing it, they make the battery better. Oh, we can make a battery last 10 years, like like I said,
Sure.
the life of the car. We'll make the battery last the life of the car. Well,
Mhm.
well, that's all fine and dandy, but you're still doing all the same processes to make the battery. Like they can't, they're not changing, like the batteries it's been around a long time.
Sure.
We
Well,
know
like
when,
that's not true. The EV company, like there was a website I went on today, and they are
Mhm.
looking to try to make a sodium ion battery, which would be different. It doesn't have the same heavy metals that the current kind of batteries have. Now, how
Sure.
far along are they in technology and being able to actually produce this and make it efficient? I mean, that's the question, right? But the fact is vehicles nowadays can, like the electric vehicles nowadays can go twice as far as vehicles could like 10 years ago. So in a
and
decade,
it's
we've
still
come
just
a
as
long
much as a
way.
tank of gas will get you.
I mean, well, what do you want? Like, you want more than a tank of gas worth of distance?
Well, yeah, because well, let's say you're someone who travels like we do. I don't want to drive 400 miles and have to stop and charge my car for 24 hours, or even on a quick charger. It still takes and I don't know how fast it does from completely dead, but if you run out your full range, even on a quick charger, you're probably still looking at least an hour to charge that thing.
Yes.
So let me ask you something. Like
don't-
over time, as we progressively, okay, so you guys have used the word forced into this. Let's say progressively over time, more people own these vehicles. There's more, what are they called? Connections for fucking charging.
Infrastructure,
points.
charging
Yeah,
points, yeah.
Infrastructure for these vehicles. Because I'll tell you what, I work in Paulsboro, which is like one of the trashiest towns in New Jersey, and all of their Wawas have like charging stations, for sure. You're gonna have more of that, right? So that's gonna be more accessible. So you go on these lengthy road trips, it's gonna be more accessible, and it's gonna
Well,
be
it
well
doesn't-
more improved
it
as
can-
time goes on. Whether
It can be
you
as
like it or not.
accessible. It can be as accessible as a gas station, but I don't have an hour to sit to wait to charge.
You know they have fast charging stations.
That
right?
is a fast charge.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
for,
I didn't
for a
focus
full
on that part.
charge.
I could give less about that part of the situation. I focused on other things, but go. I'm just waiting for you guys to finish. So,
But I mean, I will say the technology in these cars is pretty impressive. So like in the new like Ford F-150, what is it? Lightning or something like that? I can't remember what it is.
Terrible name because of Lightning used to be a great truck, but
yeah, it used to be with the Mustang too. I was so disappointed about that. I'm so mad.
It's like when you get in the truck and let's say you're hauling something, you put in the weight of that and it adjusts and it shows you realistically how far you can go. So I mean, if you put on a trailer and it's saying, "Oop, you can only go 90 miles," like it's calculating it for you. Like the systems in the vehicles are pretty sophisticated and they're realistic, which is good.
All right. So well, as you two know. Oh, go ahead.
So I'm pushy. What can I say? You said something about like trailers and all that. So what does this do to like your the trucking industry too? So that was a question I actually had myself. A friend of mine, I talked to my friend Butch earlier, and I was like, "Yo, what do you think about?" I actually asked several people, so you're going to hear some name drops, and it's going to be hilarious. However, I asked Butch about it, and he absolutely hates the idea, even though he's a complete tech nerd, which is freaking hilarious. I love him to death, best friend. However, he goes, so what is this going to do to the trucking and transporting industry and things of that nature? So, I mean, that's actually a thought I had, and I had no answer for it. So, I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I mean, honestly, if we can get like everyday residential vehicles, like cars and light trucks, over to EV, guess what happens? The demand for gasoline, like for oil, goes down, right? So then what happens to the diesel prices? They're going to go down too. Like I have this guy I follow on Snapchat, and he's always posting like how much it costs. It's like $1,200 to fill up his big rig now.
I'm all for like the like tractor trailers. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the buses in England are electric, and they have a diesel generator to power them for backup energy and stuff. So I thought, well, why don't we do electric semis and they can have a diesel generator and
wait
have
I just found
they've got plenty of they got
I'm sorry this just came up because somebody had commented this. They said check out the Nikola whatever blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I just googled it. So my question was answered on transportation.
Well, then why don't you tell us what you read? What is the answer?
I don't know. There's a lot of answers. There's tons of answers. You know how long it takes me to process information.
Okay. But I mean, so upon my research, because I was a little afraid of tonight's show because I did not really know much besides my opinion on this stuff. Sure. I did see something where they were talking about how hybrids are the way to go right now, because like if you're sitting in traffic, if you're doing like city mileage, the electric vehicle is perfect for that, where like on the highway and long distances, like a gas powered engine is definitely going to outperform an electric right now. So what if we do something like that with big rigs? When they're sitting in traffic, they're just sitting there. If the engine can shut off and go to like an electric mode, at least reduce, their overall emissions, as opposed to giving up their full power. Like, what about something like that? That wouldn't be too bad. Well, you guys are looking at chat too much. Stop looking at chat.
I'm not looking at chat. I'm reading Google. I'm an intellectual. No. Okay.
I know Mike's looking at chat. Stop looking at chat and talk to me.
Well, all right. So
I need attention.
I know.
Well, I could give you tons of that, but it'd be inappropriate.
Yeah, I am needy. We all know that.
Who's going doing what?
No, like, all right. So look, like, listen, I want to get I'm not against electric vehicles. Electric vehicles have the potential to be immensely powerful, like they do. The electric motor has one moving part. You can make a ton of power from them, essentially. And other than the fact that they're boring to listen to, like I've heard of people getting migraines. New world record at the for all that. Because it's quiet. I said I've heard of people getting migraines from driving Teslas because of like the lack of like road noise. You get that like milk crate sound, milk crate or
Migraines from
Nope.
it? Are you kidding me? Like,
Absolutely.
like, I'm afraid to
It's just-
I'm afraid to
'cause you're-
upgrade the exhaust in my bike because I don't want a louder bike because I like listening to
Oh
my
my
music in my
God.
AirPod, you know,
you
like
shouldn't
what?
do that anyways. by
You're
the
supposed to
way.
wear earplugs at the track, by the way. You guys
I'm not
know
talking about the
this.
track. I'm talking about on the street. I want an
Earplugs.
AirPod. I want music. I
Earplugs
want
on the
I
street
want a
too.
jam. No, my bike isn't that loud. I don't need it.
Listen, my bike's not loud at all either. It's a freaking R3. I still wear earplugs. You got
My
to.
bike's quite loud, but
I'm already half deaf. It
I know,
doesn't
the Pixar
matter.
I've used ear. But I said they make it. I said the hill climb at the festival speed. Like is now the world record was set by an EV. I said it's super fast to watch. I mean, you see like airflow going over. It's got so much downforce. It's crazy, but it's exciting because you can visibly see it's going fast, but you can't hear it's going fast. It's just boring. That's my biggest issue with with electric vehicle racing is just so boring.
Speaking of racing, so this past year at Laguna Seca was the first time that electric vehicle motorcycles raced in a race. And it was the first time that electric vehicles competed against gas-powered motorcycles.
Okay,
so
they've been running electric vehicles Isle of Man since like 10 years.
Well, I mean, so first time in Moto America, would that be better? I mean,
yes.
Isle of Man doesn't really count, does it? That's a
no.
First off,
doesn't count.
Don't even
it's only like
the
most one of the most prestigious races in the world, but yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's just like top #1 motorcycle racing ever, but it doesn't mean shit, right, Shannon? Jesus Christ.
I was being sarcastic. Jeez, people. Okay, I can be sarcastic like Mike every once in a while. But yeah, so I mean, and they didn't do too bad. I mean, both of them finished. Both of them finished.
Ooh, they finished.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Harleys didn't. Okay, they performed better than the Harleys.
Well, they don't have oil leak 24/7. Of course, they're going to perform better.
And this was the hooligan race, by the way, guys. So like, just anybody who's watching, this was the hooligan race. A couple weeks before Moto America, tested them out and did qualify 2 of them. Actually, your boy Stefano Mesa rode one of them.
That's not my boy. Jake Lewis is my boy.
I didn't mean like that kind of a boy. You love Stefano Mesa, but just I'm not talking about it in that way. God.
No, my boy is Jake Lewis.
Look at how she smiles when she says his name. Dear God Almighty.
Too young. Stop it.
But yeah, no. Mesa finished 13th and Klug finished 21st. So they both finished. Mesa definitely did a better job, but I mean that's not bad. It's not a horrible first shot. And can I just point out, like Chuck Oxlin on the Crothers and Bice podcast the other week, he actually talked and kind of in response to our little show last week on the Moto America calendar. He watched us and he made sure he answered some of the questions that we posed on that podcast. But Sean and Paul had asked him, like, what does he see like the future of like EV, like, or what's going to happen? And he said, just because of the way things are going, that they can't rule out potentially having an EV class at some point. Like, you could tell he wasn't happy about it. Like, you could tell he wasn't like, yeah, we're gonna do it next year or anything, but you could tell he was like,
Amanda, we're
gonna have to go there.
Were you in Jersey when there was that EV swapped R1 there?
When was that?
It was early in the season.
Probably.
You probably only would have seen it once because it caught fire, but
well, it's an R1. I mean,
and so I got some good fuel for this fire also, by the way, and this is kind of a pun intended. So for those of you that don't know, I work at a collision center. Deal with smashed up cars all day, insurance companies all day. Had an adjuster come in, just came up from Florida, dealing with the hurricane situation down there. Lots of flooded cars. I mean, completely devastated down there. But went to this one buy shop. It was an Audi shop. Audi's got a bunch of electric cars, and it's Florida. Lots of money, lots of people with electric cars thinking they're doing the right thing. So, do either of you guys know what thermal runaway is?
Go ahead, enlighten us.
So, this happened when Richard Hammond flipped the supercar in the Swiss Alps. So basically, a battery shorts out. They put the fire out. They get the fire to cool down. The short goes away, and then it'll heat back up. It'll catch fire again, and it'll just continuously, like for days and weeks, these fires just keep popping up because the batteries are just thermally running away and catching fire, and just they can't contain it. So they're trying to put regulations in Pennsylvania right now where, as the collision center, I don't know how they expect us to realistically do this, but if you have a car that comes in that's an EV and it's a total loss, we have to have a 6x6 car area around it where no other cars are allowed to be. So our lot's completely full. That's not happening. Then they want us to have a container, because the only way to put these fires out is to completely submerge them. So we're supposed to have a container that we can put these things in and completely submerge them in water for 24 hours to make sure that there's not going to be any more fires with them. And then they'll take them. So when I was talking to the guy from this insurance company down there, they had a line of these just in front of a lake. So if they caught fire, they could just take a forklift and push them into the lake to submerge them so the fires go out. And then there's the cost of disposing of these batteries, because
wait, before you get on disposing of batteries, I want to stay on the fueling the fire part, because a friend of mine, I saw that we were doing the show tonight, and so he started blowing up my Instagram today because he works for the fire department, I think in Prince George's County, maybe somewhere outside of DC. And he said that they are seeing so many fires from not necessarily Teslas and cars and stuff like that, but from the electric scooters, because people bring them into these high-rise apartment buildings, they plug them in, they leave them in, and these lithium ion batteries and these scooters are catching on fire. And it's it's posing a safety hazard to the public, because people just don't know how to use these. You should never leave something that's lithium ion plugged in and then leave your house. You should, and when it's done charging, you should unplug it. Saying, I'm sure the cars are a little bit more
men aren't
sophisticated.
reading directions?
I mean, we're talking girls too. People and humans.
I'm hurt by that.
I mean, I don't read instructions unless I struggle and can't figure it out. I'm very guilty about that. So, but yeah, and he was saying and even the cars, he said they had a Tesla catch on fire in a parking lot. It wasn't even moving or anything. And it took 25,000 gallons of water to put out this fire. They just got to keep dosing it. And water is not the thing to do with these batteries. There's other things that can contain it faster, but fire departments are not prepared to handle these fires. He said that they have these new blankets they're supposed to throw on it. And I was like, what? So I'm thinking in my head, thinking in my head, a Tesla driver has a blanket in the truck. Oh, my car's on fire. Let me go get the blanket out of the truck. And he's like, no, it's more fire department level at this point.
Mike, you were in the military too. Actually, you were in the Air Force. You were in the most safety bougie branch of the freaking military. Dude, fire blankets are a thing. That's not unheard of. You probably should have.
We had these big yellow fire extinguishers specifically put out jet fuel, and then we had a fire. So there's the two best options to put out lithium-ion battery fires is completely submerge it, or there's a foam, we had a fire suppression foam system in our hangar that if there was a fire, it sprayed foam in there and it literally sucks all the oxygen out of a room. Those are the two best ways to put these fires out. But yeah, there.
Yeah, it was just funny. So he started like blasting me with like links to fires and things, and I'm just
Well,
like, it was
so
hysterical.
on the scooter front, in a positive light, is Honda and several other like Pagio and a bunch of other scooter companies, in other parts of the world, because we're Americans, we don't ride scooters, but
Take
we're
that
getting
back. I love the
we're,
Honda Ruckus. Those things
we're,
are awesome.
we're getting on the scooter bandwagon, but that's like main transportation for like 90% of the rest of the world. But so in Japan, they have battery stations for your scooter. You roll up, your scooter's getting low, you roll up, you pull your battery out, like it's like a pack, and they got the charging stations, and you pull battery, like you put your card in, pull it out, you pull a new battery out, you replace your battery in there, because a lot of people, Japan is, there's nowhere else to build out in Japan. They're only building up. So you got people in these apartment complexes, they can't get their scooters up there to charge them. So they came up with that system to try to prevent stuff like that from happening.
Yeah, that's better. That's probably a much safer thing to happen, because then they can check for battery damage and switch out, bad, batteries, and switch them for good ones. I mean, that actually seems like a pretty good system. And then you don't have to worry about people overcharging, leaving it plugged in. So that's actually not bad at all.
And it does speed up the whole fueling process. So if they could come up with a system like that for a car, I'd be a little bit more inclined. But changing the battery out of a car is a several hour process, and you gotta take the car off of the battery.
All right, so let's talk about the latest Ewan McGregor, The Long Way Up.
Wait, what are we doing? Are we done with EVs?
No, this is an EV thing, Amanda.
Wait, hold on. I didn't even get to bitch about all the shit I wanted to bitch about. That was
okay. Well,
yeah, I let you guys
okay. Well,
talk.
I already brought this up, so we just got to talk about this, because this is also EV shit. So so Ewan McGregor does all these motorcycle shows. Ian, whatever the heck his name is.
Ewan
McGregor. Okay, who's amazing. Apparently a motorcycle enthusiast. He's narrates everything out there motorcycle related. But in that, it definitely showed the challenges of cold weather with these things. So not all of us live in Southern California, where the weather is always perfect. Some of us live in cold places, and these batteries do not work well in cold temperatures.
So the heat kills the battery. It's just the electrons don't move as quickly in the cold. So that's why they're, Spitfire doesn't like cold mornings at all. He has
a cute little blanket he puts on his bike in storage in the winter. It's the freaking cutest thing. I just throw a tarp on mine and pull the wheels off and put the slicks inside because it's cold outside. But he's got a cute little blanket tied in a bow. There's some glitter on it. Color it down.
All right. The bow and the glitter is an exaggeration.
You sure about that? You sure?
The glitter is an exaggeration.
I'll accept that.
But
well, anyway, come on, back to the cold thing, man. You completely distracted him.
No. So yeah, so the heat is actually what kills the battery, and then it just makes itself known in the winter because the electrons aren't moving as quickly because they're cold, and they're like me in the cold. They don't like to move or do anything.
Don't you put it on a battery tender?
No, I keep my battery in the house. I take it out of the bike.
Too. I forgot about that. Yeah, I just hook her up to the battery, but I take it out and hook it up in the house too. But I mean, I haven't had to change battery in years.
Well, but the lithium ions, I don't think you can do lithium ions in the battery tender.
I don't have one, so I don't know. I have a gel battery.
I just bought
stock battery. But
this may be a shocker, but I just bought a Snap-on battery charger that can charge lithium-ion batteries.
I mean, I just plan on going out there and starting Etsy at least once a week all winter long. That's my plan.
Don't do that. You know why you shouldn't do that? Gas-powered engine. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Just give me 5 seconds. So when you start and let an engine warm up, now, okay, what metal is our engines made out of? What's the metal it's made out of?
I'm assuming aluminum. I have no idea, actually.
It's separate from top end to bottom end. Go ahead, Mike. I know you know the answer. Go ahead.
Do your thing. I'm letting you go. You're on your rant. Go,
Okay,
keep
anyway,
going.
so-
Keep going.
Like I thought it was
Okay, so
aluminum because that's why I had to
metal-
use something on my bolt when I put it in this thing, you
Stop.
know, like I don't know.
When and this goes for cars as well. The reason why cars have longevity, you hear these cars go like hundreds of thousands of miles, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When you heat up metal, when you start that vehicle and let it warm up and heat up, that or that metal expands and it, you know, contracts, whatever. The longevity of an engine is definitely tied to you starting it, letting it warm up and heat up, and then letting that engine cool back off. It doesn't need to get fluids through it. Pull the battery off, put it on a tinder. That contraction and all the freaking science shit that's happening to your engine when you let it warm up and then cool down is what cuts the longevity of your engine.
All right, Mike, what is your viewpoint on this? Because I've definitely heard other people say, you know, like just go outside and turn it up
they don't know what they're talking
once a
about.
week. What is your viewpoint on this?
I take my battery out. Like
We're not talking about the battery. We're talking about the engine.
I know, but I don't go out to just start it just to let it run for a couple minutes to, you know, just shut it off because, you know, it's unnecessary wear and tear that, you know, you don't really need.
It's called the expansion and contraction of the metal when you heat it up.
But I mean, like, so what though? Like, that's what it's built to do. Like, you guys are the ones that told me to push her as far as I can in the RPMs. I feel like that is probably more damaging than starting her in the winter. But you know what? We're getting away from the whole EV
as long as
thing,
you let it warm, as long as you let, if you're gonna start it, let it run through a heat cycle.
Why? The heat cycle is what cuts your longevity. That heat cycle is no different than fucking tire. No different than tires. It's what cuts the longevity.
So basically you're saying just go, like, never ride your bike because every time you turn it on, you're cutting its life down.
When you ride it, but don't go out in the winter if you're not riding it just to start it. That is so asinine. Like,
well, then fine, I'll go out, I'll start her, and then I'll just take her down the street as long as there's no snow on the ground. I mean, I will do any excuse I can to ride her, you know. Like,
no, that's fine.
Come on, Nancy, let's just go warm up a little real fast and we'll get you back in your home.
That's great. But yeah. Okay, we only have 20 minutes left, and I'm over here, and I haven't bitched at all. Really,
Go.
Yes, all right, Amanda, the floor is yours. Take it.
Okay, here are my issues with EV vehicles. Okay, now you guys know I come from a background of drag racing before I started anything with bikes and all that. I would hope that you guys know that. I like the smell of a freaking engine. I love the smell of race fuel. I love the smell of burning rubber. I love the sounds, the feels, the vibes, the whole nine. However, at the end of the day, electric vehicles are fast. They are hot off the line. There's no, oh, wait, let me wait for this engine to do what it's supposed to do. And then bam, look, we're off the line. There's no, like, it's like instant power. It's incredible. I do love that. They're annoying though. It's annoying. I hate them. In the racing world, I've watched I'm sorry, I got a text message. I started laughing. I've watched Moto E several times. It's boring because I can't hear that bike zoom past. Like, that's like that classic sound, car or bike, really. I get the goosebumps when I hear the right kind, especially, okay, I'm a Suzuki loyalist at heart. Don't tell anybody. But when I hear that Gixxer with the Yoshimura pipe coming through a high 600 down turn one at Thunderbolt, I get goosebumps and it gives me a shiver up my spine because it's awesome. However, electric bikes they're fast, dude. They carry a lot of power. They got the torque. They got the this. They got the that. Whatever. They're fast. At the end of the day, I can't deny it, and I love speed. My issues with electric. So I talked to several people today. So I got their opinions. People that I trust their opinions, and I know they have the knowledge to back it. So really good friends. Pudlow and freaking Schuyler both said EV's the future. Two people I didn't expect to say that. And you guys know why, super race guys, expert racers, whatever, know their stuffs, whatever's. So yeah, EV's the future, blah, 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 went through the whole thing. Matt's funny comment was, I don't give a shit about that hippie shit with like mining and such. However, I do care. So I'm going to go along with that. My issues with it is the mining. Cobalt and all that and lithium is an issue. However, he did make the point of fossil fuels we're mining anyway. We're mining shit all over the place. You know what I mean? So who cares? I have a problem with the child labor, with the cobalt and all that. That's a fucking problem. I mean, I'm not a fan, right? So, oh my God, I have to cram this so tight. I hate this. I'm having a hard time. the CO2 that carbon footprint nonsense is absolutely nonsense, because the statistics I saw about it comparing to combustion vehicles is based on 11,800 miles, and it shows that production is higher for the EV, lower for the combustion vehicle, higher. I mean, so the combustion has higher longevity wise. EV is like not as big of a footprint, you know, in the long run, but it's based on a small amount of miles. You know how many miles I drove this year? You know how many miles I drove my car this year? And I haven't ridden on the street. Yeah. I drive 20 to 25,000 a year in my car because I stopped riding.
How far away do you work from your house?
First off, I work about 40 minutes away from my house, number one.
Okay.
Number two, I travel every single weekend. And, you know, when Mike tells you, hey, you want to go to NC Bike this weekend? I'm like, yeah, I'll be ready in an hour. Let's go. I do spur of the moment 5-hour trips like that all the time. I went to Shenny, like spur of the moment. Like, I'm just always driving. I'm all over the place all the time. I love to drive and ride. It's just my thing. So yeah, I put like 25,000 miles a year on my vehicle, give or take. I would have to know the statistics on a high mileage vehicle for me to make a good, you know, opinion on that. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought because I started thinking about riding. I just want to ride again. It's been a couple weeks, and I don't think mini track days are done. I might go next weekend if I can. Yeah, so we went through that, blah, 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 all this terrible stuff. And oh, did we talk about recycling of these batteries? That's some bullshit. They still don't have like a thing for that. Like, there's not like a consistent thing.
Like you cut me off before I could talk about disposal. Like,
that's because I don't like you. Shut up.
Well, no, like
I cut him off on
when
that one.
the flood cars that they were totaling down in Florida, like the EV flood cars. I mean, they totaled a bunch of cars, but the EV ones. $8,500 to dispose of the batteries out of those cars.
That's crazy. Oh wait, I just remembered something because I wrote it down. So if you want to compare like emissions and stuff, EV to combustion vehicles, and I wanted to say this earlier. There's a difference between a motor and an engine. Mike, you and I have had this talk before, and you should know better, Mr. Freaking Master Tech over there. A motor is electric, and an engine is gas powered, so don't do that. It ruffles my feathers. However, there's an app. It's CLIMOBIL. You download it. It gives you comparisons. It's actually pretty neat. I didn't try it, but I saw it on Google, and it was in it was like a source in some of the stuff I was reading. Seems legit. I guess if you're that curious about it and you care, you should do it. Check it out, whatever. I'm curious. I'll probably download it when I'm bored. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Did I cut you off? I don't remember.
No.
Oh yeah, so I can keep going.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at me.
Yeah, just keep it rolling. You're entertaining.
So here's another thing. That I was super curious about. So I'm like thinking about maintenance, right? So like I work on my own vehicles. I work on my own bikes. Keep your hands off. I think Mike and Pudlo, the only two people that have ever gotten close to working on my bike. And Pudlo just drilled a hole without freaking asking me, although it was the right thing to do. I just was being an ass about it. And you helped me with my fairings.
And rear sets.
The rear set. Wait, no, I ended up getting new rear sets after that.
I know you did. And
that's bullshit. No, because I didn't get rear sets.
No, I put those rear sets like pretty much all the way together, and then you went and got different ones. So
I had to, because I dropped the shifter in turn 3B twice in one track day. So I got mad and I went over to Justin Trackside Parts, and I got a set of, what did I get? The Woodcraft? I have Woodcraft clip-ons, but I have Vortex rear sets. $400, dude. Cut me a deal. R3 parts are expensive right now, especially the new gen, which is what I have. So, but anyway, like I was saying, so maintenance. I was curious about that because, my car can be a little pricey to maintain. The bikes I keep cheap, but I'm constantly working on them. And on average, it says it's like 7 cents per mile for an EV, and on average $10 per mile on like combustion. I don't know what that's based off of. It was just whatever I found. And I was like, this seems legit. I'm just going to use this. But I mean, again, it's an average. It's probably a biased average for all we know. And then there was the other thing where people were worried about the grid, the power grid, if it can handle all this, but that'll evolve with time, I think. So that's my opinion on that nonsense.
I don't think California is ever going to be in the clear on that, and they're the ones like pushing it the hardest.
Forget California, a bunch of nerds, man. I'm just mad because it's cold here and it's not there. But from what I understand, it's not a fun place to live. Also, yeah, like the thing, my main thing is, you know, it's not as their power sources are not as green as they say they are, but I don't think any power source is really that green. So like, I guess the theory is like the vehicle is only as green as its power sources, which makes sense. But I mean, dude, look at all the mining we do for so much shit. Who the hell cares? I really just don't care.
Well, I mean, we also got to think about where our electricity comes from. So, for example,
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
If you charge, if an average house has 2 cars and they convert 2 full electric vehicles, like both cars to electric vehicles, it is the equivalent of running 25 refrigerators in their home. Can the power grid, you know, maintain every household just all of a sudden hooking up 25 more refrigerators in their house? Like, it can't. Our power grid, our infrastructure is just not there to support it.
Yeah, but so, where did you get that from? I want to know the source. I want to know.
It was from it was from a Senate hearing.
Okay. Oh, okay. If it was government related,
it was government related. Yeah, no, like the guy on the Senate board. But I mean, but we have bills that have gotten passed, so infrastructure will get better, and electric is included in that.
Here's an easy solve to that. So my grandfather, he retired from Hope Creek, the nuclear plant over. Well, I mean, you're not from New Jersey, but I am. So the nuclear plant's in like Salem area. It's like in the Bay. So he worked there forever. They shut half of that plant down, which is complete BS because nuclear power is like legit. I don't understand what everybody is.
Wait, yeah. Do you want to hear a conspiracy theory, right? Real fast.
I love them. Tell me.
Okay, so yeah, nuclear power is where we have to go in the future. Okay, and everybody's scared of nuclear, but nuclear is actually one of the cleanest power sources we have. It is the only power source.
It's running the majority of our Navy fleet too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only power source we have where the energy waste is 100% contained. Every other power plant, whether it's coal or, you know, whatever, all that waste goes into our environment. But with nuclear, all the waste is contained unless we have like a Chernobyl thing going on. However, so there is this entity, I don't know if it's a company or a research firm or whatever it is. They have found a way to take nuclear waste and make energy from it. So it's a nuclear plant that uses our nuclear waste, which is brilliant because you have nuclear plants, they make waste. Then you have this plant that uses nuclear waste, and then we're all good, right? Well, China agreed to host the first power plant, you know, that would use this nuclear waste. And it was set to be built in 2020. And what happened in 2020?
Conspiracies.
So that it never got built.
No.
I wonder what happened. And it's just funny because we all think that COVID came from China. Like, what if it is a conspiracy? What if it is meant to keep, you know, infrastructure down, research down? What if the energy companies gave us COVID because they want the power that they have, you know, like, anyway, so
anything is possible. Oh, I wanted to take a moment, assuming I'm not being a jerk here.
Oh, no. You are completely entertaining. So keep going, please.
Oh, dude, I aim to be entertaining. I am just the ball of fun, life of the party, loud and obnoxious. Anyway, so one of the things I wanted to bring up, because again, no matter what kind of power it is, I'm excited about it if it goes fast, right? So I was looking more into the Moto E stuff because, yeah, who cares about electric cars? I don't care about electric cars. Also, okay, we're going to have more Ducati boys wrecking at our tracks, okay? And if you ride a Ducati, go get a better bike because you're dumb. However, stop flaunting your money. It doesn't work. Moto E is going from their whatever brand that they got going on, whatever thing they got going on for their electric bikes, and their Ducati is going to be making them. Did you hear about that, by the way?
I know they've got their e-bikes. The
e-bikes, their e-bikes are going to be made by Ducati, which is interesting, and they're going to be heavier.
Ducati already makes like an e-bicycle, Ducati already makes one.
Yes, but they're going to make the Moto e-bikes. That's going to be the brand they're going towards.
So The
Winner
only
says
reason, the
Ducati
only
sucks. I
Huh?
know
Ducati
somebody
does
else
suck.
has panel.
no. I
Shut,
worked.
shut, Mr. Freaking I ride in Daytona. I don't want to hear your
Biscotti.
Wait, wait. Look, Ducati can make electric stuff now because Audi owns
Ducati
them.
can get run over
So,
by a bus.
so like Ducati, like merging with Audi was such a great move, because
That's the
you
one who's
get,
biased.
huh?
That's the one who's biased.
I'm not biased because
You
it's a
don't
great.
own a Japanese sport bike. You're biased. You're not. You're not the Porsche.
Yeah, but I've also had to work on Ducati, so I know how much a pain in the ass they are. So,
Yeah. The only thing
but
nice about them is that beautiful single-sided swing arm. However, they're trash.
you get a lot of flex from them. But no,
Exactly.
what was great about Ducati, merging with well, it was originally supposed to be Mercedes, but like they even made some like special edition Mercedes AMG Diavos, but then that fell through and they went with
Luxury brands.
Audi
So
Volkswagen. But
go
now
on.
you have Germans doing all like the actual, because Ducatis aren't exactly, older Ducatis aren't exactly known for their electrical reliability. So, but now you've got more reliability in general. But now you got the Germans doing all that stuff, and then you get to do, the Italians get to do what they're great at, and that's making really beautiful things.
That's it. That's all they're good at. Italians are beautiful. Did I say that out loud? Shut up.
Like, the Panigale is, that's a gorgeous piece of machinery.
Agreed. It should be in somebody's living room, not on my track.
I actually know of, believe from working on the European brands, I've known people that stored, like, I knew a guy that had a MV Agusta Senna edition that he cut like a hole in his wall and had like a secret door like to put it in, and then displayed it in his living room.
Dude.
But yeah.
Goals, man. Those are goals. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So they've been doing Moto E since 2019, which I actually didn't know that. I thought it was more recent than that. So that's pretty neat, I suppose. Too bad I didn't pay attention to it because I don't care. I really only watch CCS and Moto America. I don't really pay attention to MotoGP anymore. I mean, I watch like highlights, but I'm not like in it to win it. But they go 167 miles an hour. Pretty impressive as far as I'm concerned. They have 147.5 foot-pounds of torque at 5,000 RPMs. Pretty cool. I'm mad at that. And they're like 0 to 62 miles an hour in, what does it say, 3 seconds. That's pretty neat. I love that for them. I hate
how many laps can they do?
That. Turn like off the starting line, turn 1. That sounds like a nightmare.
How many laps can they do?
How many? Oh, I actually never even got that far because then I had to make sure my face didn't look like shit to do this podcast. So there was that. It has like 160 horsepower, but that's like average because they're taking that from like their measurement of power, which I don't remember because I'm, I can do a mean electrical wiring harness on a bike, but I know nothing about terms. So stuff and junk. But it's like the max continuous power is 160 horsepower. And then they weigh about, no way, get the fuck out of here, 568 pounds to like 617 pounds. And Ducati wants to make them heavier. Like they're leaning towards a heavier bike.
That's heavy.
It's probably gonna be heavier because they'll need more batteries so they can make it full race distance.
Sure, but it's how heavy is it? Mike knows it's probably right off top of his head. How heavy is a super bike? Like we're talking like a 1,000.
Like
430.
Yeah, so it's pretty heavy. I mean, like I'm going from like the Gixxer. The Gixxer was a 600. How heavy was that bike? It's like 4 something.
I think like 430.
Yeah, I mean, like Pies' BMW SS1000R is like 420.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't even know how much my bike. Let me Google that.
Like my bike's 398 wet.
Wet.
Wet, moist.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm a bad person. I like nice things.
That's why we all get along.
And you can't trust Ducati's weights either because they cheat to achieve their weights.
Sugar. So the R3, so my 2019 R3 stock weighs about 368 pounds. No wonder why I can pick it up. 368 pounds, but you know how much weight I cut out of that bike between putting the track body on, and then I took out all unnecessary stuff for the most part, and then added like, you know, between those handlebars were heavy as hell. I'm so glad I put the ones on.
When I switched my exhaust on my Daytona, that was an instant 20-pound gain. Or loss.
Yeah, I have a exhaust on this bike. I forgot about that. The arrows.
So you probably lost 25 pounds right there.
Yeah, for sure, because those things are heavy as hell.
The catalytic converters.
I'm probably pretty well close to 300 pounds for that bike. And then you put 110-pound me soaking wet in some leathers. Soaking wet in my leathers. Is it sweat? Did I pee myself? Am I happy? I don't know. It could be any of the three. I'm at the track.
Never know. You never know.
You never know with me. I'm just like, what's the word?
Well, anyway, we're not even going to find the word. Closing statements when it comes to EV. All right, give me the last statements you have when it comes to EV. What are your final thoughts?
I'll keep it chill and let him go first again.
I don't think, it's not sustainable. Like, I don't think it's the future. It may be in the direction we're going, but I don't think it's the future. There has to be something else out there that's, that's going to be better. I think it's hydrogen. They just gotta, because hydrogen is the most abundant element in the entire universe. Like, so it's not like we're going to run out of that. We just have to, find a way to harness it safely, make it small that'll fit in cars, and make it affordable. But I don't hate electric vehicles. They just
Yes, you do. You like gas.
They just don't do it for me. They're fast. I like how fast. I like the potential. I like the potential that they have for racing. Other than they're boring to watch because they're quiet. But
this is true.
But they make a stupid amount of power.
They do. That's what I love. I mean, you don't get all the sensory that you want out of a vehicle like that, especially
it would have. I imagine like
what's hysterical. I am not a noise person at all, so I'm like,
so then why don't you wear earplugs?
Like
because I listen to my music and my bike's quiet. Like,
I hope you don't do that on the track.
You're not allowed to. So
well,
but you shouldn't do it on the street either. You're gonna get
as long as it's just one, it's legal.
I don't want to hear about no music on the street because I absolutely ride with music on the street because I'm jamming. But I haven't ridden on the street in so long. Like, I don't even know what that's like anymore. I'm a hooligan now.
I seen the video, your wheelie video on your.
That was at the track, dude, and it was a weak wheelie. You should have seen the one at Moto America coming up.
The one in your neighborhood with your hooligan buddy.
Oh, he wasn't my buddy. He's just a kid that rolls around all the time, and he came sneaking up on me, and he popped it up. I was like, this asshole. He's a cool kid though. I love his bike. He's got that purple Galaxy wrap on it. I'm like, bro, I was gonna do that. Now I have to go with my original idea for the CRF. However, are you done with your conclusion?
Yeah, because I forget where I was going. So
yeah, it seems legit. All right. Okay. My conclusion after speaking to my intellectual friends that I trust, and then because we didn't even hit any very important points, I'm going to tell you that right now. There's like so much more to this, like even the history of it. Like, electric vehicles started back in the 1800s, and then Henry Ford was like, yeah, we're not doing that. So there's like so much more you can dive into with this, and it's very interesting. It's something I've been actually researching since I was still into drag racing, because there are a few guys who built drag cars. One of them was like a fastback Mustang. That thing was fast, and it was really, really cool, and I just love watching it go fast and whoop everybody's ass. Anyway, so I digress. I love the speed. I love the power. I miss the sensory. I would absolutely miss the sensory. There's no way you'd get me out of a gas-powered vehicle. You wouldn't even get me into a hybrid. Let's be real. I just can't. I cannot. I will not. Absolutely not. But
now you said sensory. It reminded me where I was going to go with. I was going to say it has to be like completely different. Like trying to race that. Because
I listened to
listened to what's going on. So like can you imagine going into like turn one, like down the straight? And
dude, not even that. Could you imagine somebody coming up and you stuffing somebody, or somebody stuffing you?
So when they first started doing the e-bikes at Isle of Man, they made them put like horns on them. So when they like came up to the real sharp corners,
oh, like the horns any better startled the shit out of me, right?
Well, like, you had like honk the horn so like pedestrians and like other riders like know you're coming.
Yeah, no.
That is hilarious. It's like when Paizo all of a sudden, or like my friend Takeem, when they pass me on like their leader bikes, it's like you don't hear it until they're like right here, and then it's like, like
leader bikes shouldn't be in that
scared
period.
Even a gas powered bike scares the shit out of me at the last minute when it's passing. So
I'd
be used to a horn. I'd be fine. I would be like, oh yeah, this is nothing new.
That is like one thing I absolutely enjoy. If when I'm passing somebody or somebody comes up passing me, especially on the mini bikes, because I'd be stuffing everybody on the mini bikes. But anyway, let's go back to the big boy track. When somebody's coming up behind me and I hear them and I'm like, oh no, motherfucker, no, you're not getting past me. So I like gas it some more and I'm like, oh, I had some more in there. I was just being lazy and didn't realize it gives me not necessarily the carrot. Well, I love having the carrot to chase. However, when I know there's somebody behind me and I got a clear track in front of me, that's about the only thing that's going to get my ass moving in an uncomfortable way for myself. Like, is hearing that bike behind me and knowing. And certain times of the day, you can see their shadow kind of come around you too, which is a nice motivator. I don't like that. I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to know you're about to pass me, or you think you are. Yeah, I'm talking a big game right now.
All right, is that it? Anything else?
No, I don't like the ethics behind the mining, but I think that's something we'll never get around, even with other things in our lives, not just vehicles. I just speaking solely on like, not solely, but speaking of anything that has to do with mining, anything ever, even our gay little crystals that I love so much because I love geology and stuff like that. Dude, you know, they talk about blood diamonds. You think half of these crystals are mined appropriately? I mean, half of them are like lab created, let's be real. But like, they're not mined appropriately. And I'm over here spending money on them like the little girl that I am, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's so pretty and sparkly, but I don't wear jewelry. I just want to look at pretty rocks. You know what I mean? Like, they're not mined ethically. The ones that are. Nothing we have is ethical. So fuck it. Let's go with EV.
Well, that's because like, out of
we're
the
American, we're not ethical.
Out of the 9 countries that like have like the most mines, they're all like 7 of them are third world countries. So they're like, hey, we're gonna work you to death, and we might pay you, we might just not kill you. So, just come here and work. What else are you gonna do?
All right. Well, I'm gonna like close this out for us. I think when it comes down to electric motors, vehicles, whatever, there is a long way that we need to go to get to where like the end goal is. And I don't think the end goal will ever actually be here. I think it's going to constantly be moving as technology improves. I think we're just going to constantly keep trying to do better, whether it's, the lithium ion to the lithium iron to the sodium ion to hydrogen, whatever it is, we're always going to have the next step that we're going to aim for. But regardless of what we do, we have to improve infrastructure to support this mass movement that we're being forced into by the political people around the world. So until infrastructure, which not only means, just extra charging stations, fast and slow chargers, it also means just, power that can get to our houses. Lord, no, California is a great example of what not to do. Hey, Mary Green, I just saw her hop into chat. I had to say hi. I love Mary Green. But anyway, so I think infrastructure is a huge focus. In the meanwhile, I think hybrids are a good temporary solution for today. I can't say I'm excited about this change, but there's only one thing constant in life, and that is change. So we either adapt or we're just going to have to learn how to fix old gas powered cars and keep them running like Cuba does. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We definitely appreciate you tuning in, chatting with us in live chat, or watching us on the replay. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can hit the dislike button. That's cool too. We don't really care. We just love that you hit any button for us because we like all of our buttons pushed. All right. I'll hit all my buttons, hit all the buttons all the time. It's all good. So don't forget, next week is Thursday, not Wednesday. That's my fault. Please forgive me, but we will see you soon. And
wait. We gotta talk about our social medias.
You already did.
No, we do it at the end too.
We do it at the end too. Okay.
I thought
so Amanda, you can find Amanda on Instagram and TikTok at Stay Fast and Weird. Okay. You can find Mike on Instagram and now TikTok too at Twisty Rider. You can find me at Odious Soul everywhere. Preferably just Instagram, because I'm still trying to hit 2,000 freaking followers. I can't hit that number. It drives me crazy. So go follow me if you don't already. I will appreciate it. And if you say something nice to me, I might actually follow you back. All right. Love you all. Take care. Good night, and go do something bad for us.
Please.